I think the mean people on the internet are equally as deranged and mean and cruel in real life as they are online, and that's why their main source of community is the internet. Like whenever someone sees a mean comment, they're like, "Oh my god, this person would never feel emboldened to say that in real life." And that can be true, but I think it's also true that there's a group of people who are literally so heinous that they've been excommunicated from all in real life interactions. Like the confidence it takes to post these absurd, chronically online, cruel takes and not be afraid of the backlash you'll get from your actual family and friends. Because anyone who makes content will tell you, like, my family and friends see the video that I make and they comment on it and they talk to me about it in real life. And I'm not saying that they agree with everything that I post. Nobody agrees with everyone all the time. But I'm saying that if I ever posted on here like tweaking out or being legitimately offensive, my parents would call me. You're showing a lack of community by how awful you are being online. Mecca said something that I really like. Oh, and I promise this is not about Fanita. This is beyond the Fanita-ness of it all. We do not need another think piece. I'm just saying, I really liked when Mecca said, I don't live for this online. Like, I have a real life and real friends and a real business. Congrats to her for Femi Aesthetics being a year old, by the way. Like, this is not my life. Because the internet is some people's only purpose. And understanding that the internet is its own culture and that there are niche sub-internet cultures based on interests or group affiliation, but ultimately the online space has its own set of rules that in some way diverge from the rules that would be acceptable in real life. And the rules for internet culture predominantly is made up of people who spend all their time on here, right? Like, internet culture can be anyone who just logs on for 5 minutes, but the people who make the values that we carry and that everyone is expected to abide by, those are people whose entire purpose is to get on the internet. I've talked a lot about chronically online people just because, like, I'm on their shit list, so I see a lot of it. However much time you think you're spending on the internet, you have nothing on the person who has no family, no friends, no romantic interest to occupy their time, no job, no hobby, no volunteer hours. Just wake up and log on. And yeah, there are things that can happen to you in real life that push you into the online space, but let's just interpret this video in good faith, and we know that I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the people who are so like antisocial and harmful that they can't walk into their local cafe and make conversation because the manager will put a sign on the door with their face on it and be like, don't let this person in. They get online and they start terrorizing the rest of us. It's why people can't have conversations about others without it going like way too far and getting nasty. It's why you're expected to give a disclaimer before every little statement, because someone who stopped intellectually challenging themselves in middle school now demands that you do all the hard work and comprehension for them by explicitly telling them who I'm not going to re-record this, who the statement applies to and who the statement does not apply to. And there's social currency for behaving this way on the internet. In the same way that in real life, being a certain type of person will take you further than being another type of person. Very general, but you know what I mean. Being very black and white, thinking that nuance is like an accoutrement to a take and not actually a necessity, because life is not black and white, it's gray. And if someone can't be nuanced in their analysis or their perspective, then they're shallow, but more than likely just appealing to an algorithm that prioritizes black and white content because it's the easiest to digest. So it keeps people on the platform, which keeps making the platform money.